Dracula has been used for millions and millions of different movies, alright? He's been doing it since the beginning of film, and he will continue to make appearances in horror movies because he's such an iconic person. And it's based off of a real person named Vlad the Third, alright? I did a little bit of educating myself. So far in 2023, there have been 2 Dracula movies. We have Rainfield, which is the Nicolas Cage one if you guys aren't aware, and let's look at the audience and critic scores for that. 58% of the critics recommend that you go watch this film, and 79% of the audience recommend that you go watch this film. That's not bad. That's not bad. Let's move into what we're reading the worst reviews for. The Last Voyage of the Demeter. 52% of the critics recommend that you go watch this film, and 74% of the audience recommend that you go watch this film. This was actually a pretty interesting movie. It had some disturbing scenes, but I don't think I would label it as a horror. It's more so kind of like a suspense thriller type of thing. Very interesting story. I liked how they were explaining, you know, the Dracula character and just the whole ship itself, because the Demeter is based off of the ship that you see Dracula. Let me see if I can move it right here. See Dracula standing on top of right there. Enough of that. We're here to talk about the bad. We're here to search for it. Get down to the nitty gritty. The stickies and the nasties. So let's start with the critics. Maxence Vincent, In Session Films. The Last Voyage of the Demeter is a dull retard. A retreat. Oh my god. I'm so sorry I said that. What kind of name is this? TT Stern-NZ. Okay. Top critic. An interesting premise, but also a challenging one, because we know what happens. Yeah. She's kind of right. Sean Burns, North Shore Movies. Alien meets Master and Commander is a hell of a hook for a horror film, which leaves one wondering how they managed to screw it up so badly. Eric Marchin. A tepid tale of terror aboard the ill-fated cargo ship that carried Dracula from Eastern Europe to Whitby, England kind of sucks. Okay, that's where it was. It was Eastern Europe and then to England. Okay. 'Cause I knew they ended up in England. I just forgot where they started. Kevin Carr, Fat Guys and Movies. A great idea with few surprises and muddled plot and murky cinematography. Yeah, the cinematography was pretty like, There was a lot of scenes where it was just super dark the entire time. And I get it, you know, he lives in the darkness, but goddamn, like, he can take a flashlight. He's not gonna just burn to death. Dracula just can't be in the sun. Tony Sokol, Den of Geek. Last Voyage of the Demeter wants to be alien on the high seas, but drifts into Shark Week. Wow, that was clever. Yeah, I guess it didn't execute it as good as Alien did. MV Moorhead. Smooth sailing, isn't it? Oh, shit. Smooth sailing it isn't. Well, no, Dracula was on the ship and he was like torturing everybody, so yeah, it wasn't the smoothest sail in the sea. Top critic, Albert Williams, The Chicago Reader. Predictable, gruesome, but unscary. It was a very predictable movie, especially the beginning of it, because it starts off with the Demeter already crashed and, you know, the captain's log with, damn, I clapped so loud. The captain's log with just basically everything that had basically happened on the Demeter. It had some gruesome scenes, but also it really wasn't that scary, man. It wasn't really a horror movie to me. And I don't like horror movies. I get scared. Rosaline Kicks. One thing is for sure. The Voyage of the Demeter, aka Dracula boat, is truly a horror as it showcases the behavior of a terrible roommate. Dracula is a slob. He's not the most charming demon. We're gonna read one more review. See if we can get it going. Valerie Complex, top critic, Deadline Hollywood Daily. Another backdoor pilot to upstart a cinematic monster universe that may never come to fruition. There's been so many times that they've tried to start a cinematic monster universe and it just never ever works out. They did The Mummy with Tom Cruise and it ended up being all honestly, I would love to see a cinematic monster universe, an MCU, basically a monster cinematic universe. But I don't know, it just keeps failing. Like, I guess people just don't like monsters anymore, bro. That is enough of the critics, all right? And now for my favorite part. Yes, my favorite part of this entire thing that I do is looking at what the audience thinks about this. Let's get to it. Okay, there's like this whole section. I can't read that. I don't know what that's saying. And it just keeps going. It just keeps going. Like, I don't know what that's saying. Michela P. Lacking in plot, basic gore fest really tarnished the idea of Dracula as a complicated human monster. Killed off a child and dog for horror points. Really disappointing. Yeah, it was crazy how they did that. Just like the dog, dude. Like, just nah. Lou. Boring. Every scene felt the same. It did. Show Dracula crawling for 5 seconds, someone dies. Yeah. Then the crew argues over who did it. Rinse and repeat. Yeah, I don't even need to read more. Like, you are hitting the nail on the freaking head. It actually did do that a lot, and it makes me reconsider saying that this wasn't a bad movie, because now thinking about it, yeah, hey, you're right. Ryan. Unoriginal, full of cheap jump scares, and overall boring. Well, of course it's unoriginal. It's based off of a fictional character that's been done like 4 million times in movies. So no idea is gonna be original using Count Dracula. Melanie W. Boring. Not scary. People walked out. Damn. What theater did you go to? If people are walking out of a theater, you know, and they paid for that, that means they thought it was terrible. Hip Hop Nation. This movie could have been so much more. Every opportunity it had to make itself historically interesting to the original story, or to make itself genuinely scary, was squandered. Yeah, it just really wasn't scary. It was just more so like, it was a thriller. This person's review here is literally all caps, and I'm not reading that. From No Name, so he wants to stay anonymous. Worst movie I have ever seen. No good conversations, nothing's new. All this idea found in different movies. Maybe they should found their ideas somewhere else, bro. Chima. I had an issue with the way the cross was used in this movie. The cross should have more power than that. You know what? She's absolutely right, because there's a scene in Van Helsing where Van Helsing, played by Hugh Jackman, pulls out the cross in front of Dracula. Dracula grabs it and like is basically burning, but ends up melting the cross. But it burned Dracula, so yeah, she has a point. Mike P. Very, very slow. The first hour dragged on and on. Very minimal Dracula screen time. Disappointing as I expected. A lot more based in the great trailer. It was a really good trailer, but yeah, it did drag for a little minute. Sam G, you got a pretty hefty review, but I'm just going to read until I feel satisfied with your review. Trash! Nothing happens for the first 30-40 minutes, so it seems even longer than the unnecessary 2-hour runtime. Nothing makes sense. The crew know all the attacks come at night, then they see one of their own crew who had been attacked burst into flames when the sun strikes him, yet they wait until night to open crates. That's true. It's like you understand Dracula's weakness. Oh, bro, on top of that, the girl actually knew about Dracula, so she should have told them, hey, get him in the sun. So we need to find him. He's on this ship, and then we just bring him to the sun. What? It's that easy. Just like tear the ship down to where he's exposed completely to the sun. What? These people deserved to have not succeeded in trying to defeat Dracula. Like, come on. That just hit me now that I'm thinking about it. We're gonna have to end on that, because that just automatically just hit me just now. Like, the girl on the ship knew who Dracula was and was kind of already with Dracula. So why didn't she just tell the crew, hey, like, this is how you stop him. He doesn't like being in the sun. So let's make a plan to get him in the sun. I don't know, maybe there's some weird thing where it's just like, oh, when the sun is out and Dracula hides, you can't see him. He was only on the ship the whole time. What? And doesn't Dracula have wings? Like, why didn't he just fly off the ship? You could have just went somewhere else. Like, why did you still have to stay on the ship? Did you not know where you were going? You fly straight somewhere, you're eventually gonna hit land. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. If you made it to the end of the video and you enjoyed this, go ahead and leave a like, because it helped out so much. If you've seen this movie, you know, give me your honest opinion, something a little quick. I'll read them. If you're new to the channel and you want to see more videos like this, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications. It's that easy. Thanks for watching.